Welcome to the first game in this little collaboration I'm doing with InSaiyan. If you haven't seen the videos by now, both on his channel and on mine, I'm not sure if I'm going to upload an explanation video to mine, but by the time this video goes live, you would have seen on his channel, you would have seen the Thursday night footy, or the Thursday football game that we played, and that was between the Bunnies and the Storm, with me playing at South Sydney. And as for today's game, the Friday night football game, the game we decided to play was the Manly versus Canberra match, and I decided to run with the Manly Seagulls. So there's a couple of things to note during these matches. There's quite a few bugs and glitches when you're playing online, and one of those is when the camera zooms out and we couldn't really see where the ball was, so we kind of made an unsaid agreement just to wait for the camera to reset, and whoever was in possession just pretty much gave up a tackle thanks to that bug. But yeah, overall we had some pretty decent games, and I've got to say, after not playing this game for quite some time, these 4 matches were probably the most fun I've had on this game ever since making that Parramatta career mode. And you'll see in a couple of these games there's some pretty decent tries being scored, and both me and InSaiyan held back the cheesy tactics that you usually run into when you play this game online. As an example of the camera glitch pops up there, and he just ends up taking the tackle. But yeah, there are a couple of other things I wanted to talk about, one of them being the way I'll be editing the videos. I'm not sure if I'll do the post commentary every time. I think for next week's games, I'll definitely just do the live reactions and the live commentary. I wanted to do that for the second game, but unfortunately, InSaiyan's mic wasn't recording his voice, so it's a rip on that one. I'll still be making a video on that second game though, which will be coming out on Sunday. And that Sunday game we decided to play was the Parramatta and St. George match, and I believe I was the Eels in that one, as Jake Trbojevic gets absolutely flattened. I've got to say, this collab's been a long time coming. I've always wanted to do a little series with InSaiyan, but I just didn't know what to do in these unfortunate times for sports in general. He pretty much came up with the idea of us just playing through the NRL 2020 season, since the competition itself is suspended in real life. But who knows, maybe we'll get some other rugby league YouTubers involved to maybe play out the full 8 games. But for now, it's 4 games a week as we try to find the line, and we absolutely shank the kick here. And it'll be Bailey Simonson carrying it past the 20, and he will get pulled down on the 40. After a terrible kick, Hodgson goes for a little snipe, and he finds space around the ruck. Definitely need a little adjusting in the defense when it comes to dummy half scoots, I've noticed. And after a few pretty damaging runs, unfortunately he gets that little bug, almost loses it forward there. It's ruled backwards as the 2 Englishmen link up, the new recruit George Williams to Josh Hodgson, and they are pulled down on the 20 with 1 tackle remaining. As Whiten sends it to the skies, a pretty decent kick, and it's met with an even better take by Ruben Garrick. About 5 meters out, looking to break out of our own 20, and Tapau gets driven backwards. They've been pretty ineffective for me so far, the Sea Eagles forward pack, as Joe Thompson makes the break. We try looking for Brad Parker on the edge, but it gets intercepted, and Marty Tapau, after that poor run, lines up Elliot Whitehead and sits him down. As Whiten sent it inside to Papali, acres of space around the ruck, but we managed to wrap up Josh Papali 5 meters out. And InSaiyan sends it to the left, looking for a little short side play. It's still on, and that's exactly where they go as they draw and pass, and it's that same combination, Jack Whiten to Josh Papali, as they score the first points of the game. A clean little play to start things off. I think they had like a 3-on-1 overlap, but they didn't need the other players, as he converts it, and it'll be InSaiyan and the Canberra Raiders up by 6 points. So as we enter the second quarter, I'm not gonna lie, we've been struggling here a little bit. And we haven't been making much ground as we give away a penalty on the last tackle. And that right there, guys, is a coach killer. Giving away a penalty on the last. Just inviting the Raiders to score more points, as Whiten, who has been dangerous so far, puts Croker into space. Croker to Kotrick, and Kotrick will get stopped by Ruben Garrick in a try-saving effort. We race up out of the line here with Tom Trbojevic, and we manage to stop play there on the 10. Another scoop by Hodgson, out the back it goes, and thankfully we get a little lucky there with the forward pass being ruled, and we are going to head into the break trailing by 6 points. Sheesh, that was a difficult half of footy on my side. As you can see, looking at the stats, we barely had our hands on the ball, and when we did, we were pretty sloppy in attack, making 4 errors that half. We did, however, manage to keep Canberra to 6 points, so we didn't leak too many points. We definitely have a chance to come back here in the second half. As InSaiyan said in his introduction video, this is pretty much both of our first times playing Rugby League Live 4 online in about a year and a bit. As an inside ball gets intercepted, and the pass was not on. Thankfully we had Fanua Blake there around the ruck, making a nuisance of himself, and we picked up that little intercept as they give away a penalty. So with the full set of 6 on the line, we try a cutout pass and an inside ball, but we get stopped for a loss on the 10. Looking to set up runners to the left as we go out the back to Fanua Blake, almost shepherding his player. For some reason, when it's this close to the line, I kind of struggle to score points. I mean, I know you could easily run out of dummy half, but like I said, we're not using cheesy tactics. I mean, there's a time and place. Certain situations definitely call for the cheese, but that is not right now, as we are not that desperate to score points just yet. As we go out the back, a bit of a hospital pass there for Noah Blake, as the tackle count did get reset. We're back at second right now, and it's going to go to Walker. Walker with the cutout ball and the quick hands make it out to Telfor on the wing as we finally score our first points of the game. I don't know why they sent it up to the video ref, but as you can see here, there are no issues with the grounding. We finally score our 4-pointer with the kick to come. So we take the shot here with Garrick. A pretty difficult first kick, and it ends up hitting the crossbar. Not quite enough power there. As we approach the final quarter of the game, and it's InSaiyan clearing it. A nice catch and sidestep from Garrick, who makes a decent return just before the 30. He gets pulled down as Tony Williams, one off the ruck, makes some bulk meters through the middle. I don't even think he played these first 2 rounds this season, but I've got him on the bench as we get it on the last and just drop it in behind the defensive line, and we try to poke it in goal, but it's a decent outcome as we wrap him up 5 meters from the Canberra try line. They shifted on the first, and Croker with the footwork gets around his opposite. Doesn't really make much ground as Hodgson, or Kotrick it is, goes for a little scoot. He gets pulled down just behind the 20. We're actually doing a decent job here in defense. 4th tackle, they're just outside their 20 still, as Whitehead bobbles it, and he's going to get tackled for a loss here inside the 20. Whiten standing deep in the pocket. He's trying to clear it as Trbojevic puts pressure on him, gets the ricochet, I believe, and we will score our 2nd try of the game. I mean, it's off the back of decent defense, but we did get extremely lucky there, as Garrick just pops one over from right in front, and we extend our lead 10 points to 6. So approaching the 75th minute mark. It's InSaiyan here with the Raiders, 4th tackle. He gets pulled down on our 30. 5th and last. What does he have in store? They have to run it at this point. They get it out to Croker on the edge, who tries to put it on the toe, and it's brilliantly scooped up there by Brad Parker on the first tackle, and they give away a penalty with 3 minutes remaining. We obviously hammer it downfield, and it's going to be Tony Williams who gets absolutely pumped by it. I think that was Papali. Hodgson out from dummy half, gets around Paseka, gets the fend going, and a beautiful tap on by Horsburgh to George Williams. Williams to Bateman, Bateman to Scott. Canberra with numbers to spare on the edge. It gets called back, and that will pretty much seal the game for us. Once again, we got extremely lucky there. I think the call was a knock on. I've got another angle of that whole sequence of play, of brilliant play by InSaiyan. And in the background, you can probably hear my live reaction to it. We both immediately turned our mics on after that. But unfortunately, like I said earlier, his voice wasn't recording. As the fat lady sings, and we will pick up the dub here, defeating Canberra 10 points to 6 in a thrilling match. If I don't say so myself. Were the Raiders robbed? That's up for you to decide. We were, however, extremely lucky, I will say that. But as always, if you want to see more of this content, don't forget to subscribe to InSaiyan's channel and also my channel. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.